Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Michael Pirovano, Creative Marketing Director of the Reach platform. Hello, Michael. Thank you for taking out time. It's lovely to have you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Michael, I am excited, about today's interview. We have not interviewed somebody, from blockchain so far on the show. But before, we kind of dive uh, deep into the questions. It would be great if you could introduce, yourself for our viewers.
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Michael Pirovano. And in our pre-interview, we got a little question about like, so what is your background? You're kind of weird, aren't you? and I am one of the many rogues, vagabonds, and ne'er-do-wells that have fallen into blockchain and that whole world because it is truly a melting pot of backgrounds and experiences. But I initially went to school for biology, undergraduate degree, and went into sort of medical writing and then medical marketing, and then from there sort of started working slowly more towards the creative. And then a little brief stint in the video game world. Still do a little bit of that on the side, but now I'm with Reach, helping them grow and really build something appropriately special for the product they're building.
Right. Tell us a little bit more about Reach. I understand, it's a blockchain development platform, but still, what exactly is Reach?
Sure. So when we say platform is such a nebulous term nowadays, but it's programming language, compiler, and a deploy tool. And what we're doing is something sort of spiritually similar to what Microsoft did in the early days, where we had all these different programming languages, and a lot of them were built specifically for the machine, and there was no sort of compatibility. It was all just sort of very inefficient. And I don't want to say that we're creating that efficiency, but we are streamlining the development of blockchain and decentralized apps, or dApps, across different chains. So basically, what Reach will let you do is compile to Algorand, Ethereum, Cardano, or any number of blockchains. So we are growing our partner list, but sort of compile to those different chains with very simple code changes. And the thing is it's as opposed to hours and hours and hours of a lot of very manual programming tasks that most developers sort of slowly go insane before ever completing. And that's part of why it poses a risk to the march of progress in blockchain mass adoption right now, is sort of how slow and manual the development is. And we really found a way to streamline that, streamline auditing, being able to say this is a safe app. Right now, there's months-long waiting lists for your just an army of PhDs to go over the code and find there's no vulnerabilities. So we sort of verify that your middleware, your smart contract, everything is correct as you compile. And I'm getting too much into the technical details because I'm a bit of a nerd like that. But I can wake up in cold sweats and recite this stuff. So.
No, thank you so much. It helps us, know more than just, what we can by, looking at, the website. And so thank you for that. Coming, to my first question, how do you see blockchain, impacting the future of digital marketing? I know there are a lot of articles being written and stuff being talked about, but I want to know from you that exactly how do you see it impacting the digital marketing future?
Sure. So it's a loaded question because it's a real fundamental shift in the potential for different approaches to marketing. But the crux of it is changing the way we communicate and trust online. So part of blockchain is that it's largely trustless, which is not to say that one side needs to trust the other and the other side doesn't need to trust anybody. It is completely trustless, which is an important distinction. But let me sort of give you an example, right? Right now, I don't care if I go on to Amazon and order a bunch of Christmas gifts and they have all my data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I may not have explicitly consented to giving them my data or have
Right.
clicked something and didn't read it. But I also don't care because they're giving me a service and I trust them not to spy on me or whatever. I'm a marketing statistic. So what blockchain introduces to that equation is it gives the consumers back the control over their data and their identities online. And in doing so, it opens up a new avenue in marketing and by letting the consumer monetize their data. So say
Right.
I'm going to charge Amazon a fraction of a penny every web page I click, right? But then in return, Amazon is getting a verified saying like, this is exactly who this is. There is no misinterpretation of
Right.
the
Right.
collection of this metric.
Right. Right. It's not about, like you use all these tools to analyze, data and consumer behavior, but you know that it's not 100% accurate, right? I mean, they are like, numbers, but you know that they're not 100% accurate. But here, even though the user has complete control, but whatever data you have is like, accurate.
Yeah, and now Amazon can be absolutely sure that I'm a millennial male who likes to order fried ice cream at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday night. I mean, you have to have these information.
Right, right. What do you consider as the main factors, to keep in mind for crypto marketing?
So, I don't want to speak to crypto marketing specifically because there's an important distinction between crypto and blockchain, and I think a lot of people sort of see them as synonymous. But we fall under the umbrella of blockchain, and crypto is sort of a subsection within the broader blockchain community, right? Because blockchain also includes NFTs. It includes all this
Yeah, right,
technology,
right,
right? So crypto is just one small part of that. And Reach doesn't, I mean, so there's something called DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. And it's sort of an umbrella term for the new way that finance is handled in a decentralized network. But crypto marketing is so specific to being able to generate hype for a coin and get people buying into a different token and then transacting with that token. And we are sort of removed from that a little bit. So I can tell you a little bit more about the blockchain community in general, if that helps. Right now, the blockchain community as a whole is very siloed. It's very tribal because depending on so from a developer perspective, which protocol you invest your time in learning how to build on, that's a huge investment of your time in most cases, not with Reach, but in most cases. And so you are in this little bubble with all these other people who have chosen to make the same investment of time, but you're also incentivized to trash and put down every other person because that lowers the value of their coin and raises yours, right? Or not necessarily, but there's a lot of fighting between the different tokens, right? And what I mean, there's some amount of navigating
right,
that chaos a little bit, but if you know sort of where to find these people sort of where they live, right? There's the NFT artist groups, there's the developer groups, there's people who are just interested in like finance of different tokens, buying, selling, like Wall Street traders, though it's a little bit different. So knowing where to locate those groups and where they sort of live is pretty key to marketing in the space.
Right, right. Again, talking about, like crypto in specific, uh, referral programs, are very popular, in some marketing niches. And, a lot of, talks are, there about referral programs because, like you said, I mean, it is also like, the race of, one coin being more popular than the other, or trying to create that hype of a new coin launch. So what are your thoughts on, using referral programs specifically in crypto?
I personally am a big fan of referral programs in certain contexts.
Mhm.
In blockchain and crypto specifically, it's kind of a no-go. They're severely frowned upon in the community, to the point that if you tell somebody that you're going to incentivize them to buy into a coin or something like that, they will publicly shame you. They will call you out. The equivalent of saying on your job description, oh, you require just out of college but 30 years of experience. You're gonna get some flack for that publicly.
Right, right. Again, when we talk about like content marketing, in blockchain, uh, I mean, how does your content marketing strategy look like? And when you talk about creating various forms of content, which forms of content work best?
Um, so in my mind, the
Hmm.
forms of content which work best are the ones which can be broken down and distributed across different platforms where they may have varying levels of success. So if you were to take an hour-long podcast, right, and you were to distribute that on Instagram or something, say that you could, it wouldn't go over well, you know. But the more you're able to digest that content and break it up into maybe a podcast highlight, right? Something that you can sort of streamline the sort of publishing workflow around being able to distribute multiple forms of media, a transcript, a supplementary article, right? You've got opt-in content out of that automatically. You've got social sharing with highlights and stuff like that. I think podcasts, and especially video podcasts like this, are some of the best sort of marketing tools we have if you're using the content efficiently.
Right, right, right. And I think also, like you said, videos, work best. And like there are people who create so many uh, blog posts, right, on a regular basis. Just having, like a small video, like which can act as a summary of that post, embedding that video, using a YouTube link, embedding that video. I know it's a very small, it sounds like a very simple thing to do, but it's easier to rank and it adds so much value.
Uh, Agree 100%. And I guess to add to that, I don't know if you've published a lot on Medium. Um,
Uh, yeah, like
and I know a lot of companies do. A lot of places have a Medium blog. One of the things I noticed about Medium that's kind of ingenious, and I think part of their success in the past couple of years, is being able to save articles and collect, sort of feel like you're curating content. Because what it does is it gives you that little dopamine release that says, "Oh, I've read this because I
yeah,
saved it." But you didn't read it. You didn't absorb any knowledge. You read the headline, And that's the thing. If all they're getting is a headline, they're not getting the brand name behind the headline, right? But
right.
if they get to the point where they can open up that article and the first thing they see is a video, you've got a fighting chance.
Right, right, right. Like we talked about podcasts, and like podcasts doing well, especially video ones. I mean, what according to you, like is a good podcast strategy for somebody starting off? Like how many podcasts should he do, or how often?
Well, if you're a rising celebrity in the space, such as myself, uh, I recommend doing as many podcasts as you can as often as possible, because it doesn't matter if it's the Mark Maron or Joe Rogan or millions and millions of listeners, viewers, or 13, 14 people. Maybe they're all friends and family. When you do a podcast, that person is creating content for you to distribute and share, and that is a gift.
Right, right, right. So like again, we talked about content. We talked about video content. Uh, like AI-driven content is also gaining popularity. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, I've been in AI the entire time. It's gotten really good. So I am truly there's a tendency of for somebody who's sort of natively a writer, because I sort of started out in writing, to sort of fear the neuro-linguistic programming or whatever it's called, and I am indifferent towards it. It will either be my, the kit to my night writer, or it may take my job one day. But when it's ready, it will come to me. And if it's truly ready, I won't immediately recognize it as AI-driven content. The best AI-driven content, it's like special effects.
Yeah.
The best special effects are the ones you don't notice. That's AI content for you.
Right, absolutely. Really well said. Uh, Again, talking about we talked about promoting content on various platforms, and like actually choosing which content to promote where and when. What are your thoughts on like TikTok? Like for blockchain people to use TikTok as a medium.
So people have sort of varying views on TikTok. A lot of people associate it with the Gen X, very young people dancing around in front of a camera, looking silly. Swallow your pride and get on TikTok. It is the most easily digestible, easily distributable content, I think, available on social media. You can find, I've seen TikTok videos on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, basically anywhere that allows you to post videos. I've seen TikToks, right? And that's just, that's opportunity. And in the crypto blockchain space specifically, when you're working with bite-sized content, that forces you to be concise, get to the point, and be very clear in your messaging. And that's exactly what players in the space need to be and need to do to educate the masses.
Right, right. Should crypto professionals, separate their personal and professional social accounts?
I think professionals should separate their personal and professional accounts. If they're sort of not already filtering everything in their personal account through the lens of what can be seen publicly, right? There are certain certain roles, certain things where you kind of want to have a very buttoned down social media appearance. And there are some people who will say, I'm going to abide by that in my public account and just sort of put a little bit of censorship, recontextualize some of the things that I'm posting. But if you're if you don't subscribe to that, then there's always a personal account option for you.
Right, right. Email marketing, like some people say that email marketing is dead. What would you say to that?
So I wrote down my answer here. Let's follow up on that via email. So, it might be dead in certain industries to certain people, but if you are generating the metrics to sort of show that people are opening it, and you're relative to other content, you're seeing that people are spending more time, they're clicking more links than they would on, say, an article, then why not, right? It's really, the data has to be there to support it, but there's no reason why you should assume that it's gone.
Right, right. Any special tip that you would like to give our audience that they could use and benefit from?
So I guess in the blockchain space specifically, well, so developers, I don't want to generalize too much. Developers tend to be a little bit skeptical and a little bit contrarian, which is why we love them. But especially in the wonderful world of blockchain, you will not find a more skeptical and contrarian bunch. One of the not problems, sort of obstacles we've had to navigate in our marketing is that no one believes Reach does what we say it does. If we just straight up told them, if I told you exactly how much faster our platform is to traditional blockchain development, people in the space would tell you to your face that you're lying. And they have said in person, face to face with people, you're lying, there's no way. And so in our case, we deal with that as we do. We're very good about being able to say, okay, comparison, let's lay out the facts, right? But I think in general, people can use that to their advantage. Knowing that somebody is going to want to look for holes, look for the BS, if you'll pardon my French, you can use that to your advantage because you know they're looking for it, and that's when you lead them down the path, right? You lead them down, sure, we know you're going to look for this, so here's every little, like a pinball, every little thing along the way that we can sort of educate you as to why we're not joking. This is the real deal.
Right, right. Well, Michael, thank you so much, for your time. But before you go, I would like to do a quick rapid fire with you, a quick, like round of 3, 4 questions. So, here we go. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Obsessive compulsive creative.
Oh, that was quick. If a movie was made of, on you, what genre would it be?
Didn't want to say the first answer that came to mind, but let's say romantic comedy.
I really want to know after this, what came to your mind first?
Sometimes you just think of, you go to the joke first and it's not right.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Oh, that's such a tough one. I'm going to say Black Panther, specifically because that movie did for me what Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones did, where it opened my eyes visually to something that sort of expanded my imagination, sort of broadened the realm of what I thought was possible in the realm of sci-fi by introducing that sort of Afrofuturism.
Right, right. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Does both count? So I am by nature a night person, and by necessity a morning person. I go on a walk at 5:20 every morning, and make a smoothie. And the dog expects a banana. She expects the little end of the banana, so she goes ballistic every morning once it's banana time.
I mean, I can never do mornings. I mean, I tried doing it, I tried, waking up early for walks, but, I could never do it.
Yeah, it's never easy.
Right, right. Oh, the last one, your favorite automobile brand?
Well, for the sake of the blockchain and crypto world, let's say Tesla.
Well, Michael, thank you so much. It was fun having you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.